Hello, Triumph family. My name is Okello Sharon Nagenjwa, the girl from Mayam, and this is Triumph Women Beating the Odds. So here we delve into uplifting stories that address important topics and offer support to one another through the shared journeys. Now, in this week's episode, we look at a testament of a mother's love for her child with special needs and how that love serves as a beacon of hope for others in similar situations. Dorothy Kisarale's journey is one of resilience, love, and empowerment. As a mother to Harvey, who has cerebral palsy, she has faced immense challenges navigating the complexities of raising a child with special needs. Determined to make a difference, she channeled her story into a book entitled Heart of a Warrior. Our cerebral palsy story that is not only sheds light on the struggles and triumphs of parenting a child with special needs, but also offers hope to others. Mother to mother, I want to hug you, Dorothy. Let me hug you with my hands. Well done, well done.
Thank you.
Yo!
Thank you.
Heart of a warrior. You know, I love it when we put all the pain that we go through in material that can support and help another navigate through that. But before we delve into the story, let's just have a brief interaction or an introduction. Who is Dorothy?
Okay, my name is Dorothy Kisarale, 36-year-old mother of two. My oldest will be turning 8 in Jan. She's called Heather. And then Harvey, the youngest. And the reason to my writing, so I'm recently an author. Yeah, the book basically shares about the joys and triumphs.
Yeah.
And that deep valleys of walking the journey of special needs parenting. Yeah.
So obviously, starting this parenting journey, you did not expect the outcome. You just, like every other woman, walked to the labor ward and expected something different. And there was a different story. I would say that's the beginning of your story, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, could we get into it?
So I gave birth to Harvey on a Friday at 3 p.m. I remember the details.
Yeah.
In 2019.
Yeah.
So January 4th. And with all honesty, it was a normal birth, healthy child delivery kind of situation. It was a Friday. And so by morning on Saturday, they actually wanted to discharge me because it was what they call a natural birth.
Yeah.
And so Saturday morning, I go, you know, that polio vaccination, the oral.
Yeah.
So I take the child to the nurse, and the nurse sees the eyes were just slightly yellow. And so she told me, I want you to, you're going home, but I want you to sunbathe the child morning and evening, rising sun, setting sun. I said, oh, that's okay. And because my older child had symptoms of jaundice, and I sort of like had an idea, so I thought, oh, this is
the jaundice.
Yeah, like Heather had too clear. And so I went home. So that was Saturday, Sunday, Monday is when I noticed, Monday morning is when I noticed the child was actually not feeding very well.
Yeah.
So I remember I put him to latch, and the milk stayed in the mouth.
Yeah.
And I wondered what was wrong. So and then he was as if, I thought it was shivering.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
That movement. I thought it was cold. So
you kept covering.
Yes. So until I realized, look, something is not right.
Yeah.
So
because the child cannot be shivering all the time.
yes.
Yeah.
So I called my husband and told him, can you come take us to a hospital? So he, and I thought it was maybe an infection.
Yes,
it was quick.
Something like that.
So went to the clinic at LifeLink. I thank God I found a very good pediatrician. She did not have time to explain to us what it was. She just, I had her calling, hello reception, do we have an ambulance with oxygen? And I wondered what was wrong.
Yeah.
So we got into the ambulance with the child, and she also called for another pediatrician because she said she couldn't leave us to go alone.
Yeah.
So I entered with her the ambulance, the child, saw her putting, this is a 3-day-old child, they are pricking and pricking. I couldn't tell what was wrong. I forgot to mention, on our way from home to LifeLink, I remember seeing the baby's head going. So I tried to push it back, and it kept going up until it became stiff from this angle. And I had never seen any such thing. Yeah. The only thing that hit me that this is actually very serious was his jaw had dropped. Yeah. Now, from the biology in school, I remember them telling us that when a person is going to die, the jaw drops. So I said, that's when I called my mother. Now, also seeing what was happening, I realized it's serious. And so I had to call back home and tell them, guys, help me pack. Things are serious. Yeah. That's if he makes it, but from my suspicions, mother's instinct, intuition, he might not make it. So we reached Nsambia. From LifeLink took us to Nsambia Hospital. They put him in a nursery. Yeah. No, even before that, the investigations, I remember now starting to cry, actually breaking down, because I didn't know what was wrong.
Now,
I'm still a mess.
Hitting you that something is not right now.
So now the doctors sent me out so they could do their work. And I remember asking them, as I was shutting the door, because they asked me to go, regardless of whether as the mother or not. So as I was walking out to shut the door behind me, they kept yelling at one another. They were about a team of maybe 7, 8. And one shouted, guys, someone needs to cancel that mother. This child is not going to make it. I had that. I said, I've had that. Now I was already breaking down. Can I please take a picture of that? Can I take a picture of him while he's still alive? Yes. Even if it's the last picture. And so when I looked at my child... Did they allow you to take a picture? Yeah, they allowed me to take that picture. I treasure it. Yeah. You know, so it was sad. I walked out not knowing, are they going to come back and tell me he's gone? What's happening next? Has he died? And they are just holding on to that information until I calm down, because now I was a mess. I wanted someone to tell me what was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong. So I asked whoever was walking outside, what's wrong? What's wrong with my baby? What's happening? And then one was kind enough to tell me, Google canicterus. Yeah. That's such a big word for someone that's not medic. I know. And so I went to my phone.
Was very insensitive though.
Yes. Yeah. I went to my phone and Googled canicterus. And what it brought, 1 in 10 will survive. The aftermath of what that is, those that survive cannot talk, cannot walk, cannot... It was bad. Yeah. So I said, okay, so this is what I'm dealing with. I broke down, of course, I broke down. It was hard. I went home with a normal, healthy baby on Saturday. I gave birth to a normal, bouncing baby boy
and 3 days later.
Yeah, so that's in short really what happened. The rest is history. Rising from that emotional turmoil to where I am has definitely been a journey.
Dorothy, what's From the moment of hospital, did the death happen?
No, the death did not happen, thankfully.
Okay.
So I remember we spent about 2 weeks in Zambia hospital, hospitalized.
Yeah.
And I remember now in those 2 weeks, I was not breastfeeding him outrightly. I had to pump and then feed him through a tube. In an incubator, I was not allowed to get him out of there.
Pose, Dorothy. Yeah, you had her. It's exactly what she's saying. That sometimes you are met with situations that you are never prepared for. There's no manual. In this parenting thing, there's no manual that is written. So parenting comes with different lessons that you have to learn. Some are good, some are very challenging, but this is what life is.
Yeah.
Like, life is full of challenges. That today your challenge might be different from her challenge. You might think you have the biggest problem. Then you listen to other people's problem and then you realize that God has blessed you. When you put your knees down and say, thank you, God, that I have healthy children, that I am well, that I am living, that I am breathing. But even you who's going through something, that particular problem is not so big. You can still live through it. We'll be right back and share more of Dorothy's story and the triumph and the Dorothy that she is right now, and how far her little angel has gone. So welcome back from that short break, and for those who have just joined us, I am with Dorothy, an author of A Heart of a Warrior book, and she shares the story of her journey with her baby that is a special needs child. And we've as mothers, we've gone to the ward, the labor ward, to give birth to our children, and we're expecting all merry and cheery, but situations that God has planned are those that we do not know. But we only thank God that we go through them anyhow. So giving birth to a special needs child has been challenging, but she's here to share the story of how she's been able to navigate through those adversities. So Dorothy, now we're back to hospital. So you're spending 2 weeks in hospital, and you've already been assured that your baby is not going to live any longer, or might not live a normal life. And on top of that, you know, you just knew from the ward, so it's all fresh, and you've taken that last picture of your child that you will keep as a memory in case of death. So from that, the 2 weeks, how do we bounce?
Okay, so I remember when we were being discharged, the doctor that discharged us took me aside and asked me, do you have another child? I said, or other children? I said, yes, I have. In addition to this one, I have a girl.
Yeah.
So this is my second born. And she said, how old is she? I remember I told her, because Heather is just 2 years older than Harvey. And then she told me, I want you to, now I'm talking to you not as a doctor, but as a mother.
As a mother, yeah.
I don't want you to ever compare milestones between the two children.
Yeah.
Never compare Heather in school to this one. Never compare them in anything and in any way. And so I said, okay. At that time, I honestly didn't know what she was talking about.
Yeah.
In my head, my naive head, I thought, people get accidents and get brain injuries or stroke or whatever, and they lose speech, and they gain it.
Yes.
And so I thought, okay, a brain damage, this is a baby, he should be able to gain it.
Yeah.
You know, so I had that naivety.
You were hopeful.
I was hopeful.
And that's amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
I really was. And so when I went back home, I remember going back to my mother's home because I mean, I was still recovering.
Yes.
I had an...
Of course, you have a
So now
special
I
needs
went
child.
to my mother's house and she told me, no matter what the world says, I want us to love him, and that way the world will have no choice but to love him.
Yes.
Because of how we are loving on
Yes.
him. And that's the best advice I've ever gotten. It's the best advice. I said, okay. So I started to Google now positive things. How many people have made it in life and have cerebral palsy? And that's when I found Michael Kucha, Ashton Kutcher's twin brother.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. So he started this foundation. He has this condition. He walks, he talks, even with an aid.
Yeah.
Okay, so I must do this for my son. I should do this. So therapies to help him talk, to help him walk. I was gassed up.
Yeah.
But of course, along the way, there are times when you look at somebody who had a child at the same time with yours and, you know, fall back into that mode of I wish, but then you're like, no, the Christian in me is not going to accept this. Let me pray, let me fast, let me be positive and raise him positively.
Yeah.
And so that's what I chose to do. And while on that journey, I said, let me write about what it is that I'm going through as a way to heal.
Yeah.
And so I opened a page on Facebook and I would just write small, you know, what he's eating, how I'm feeding him, his therapy sessions, what I'm doing, and things like that. And before I knew it, parents were reaching out to me. Oh, my God, I read your post about the food. Can I come and you guide me? Or can you come? You seem to have healed. Come and talk to my sister. She's devastated. And you know, things grew past me. And I said, okay, so how about I put that in a book?
Yeah.
So that in the future, when I meet mothers that are starting the journey, because I'm definitely not going to be the first or the last. And while it took me a year to heal and start moving the positive journey, it has taken, I know many, it has taken 25, 10, you know, years to heal. And so I said, let me write this down. And eventually, recently, a friend said, but Dorothy, that book that you had been writing, how about we publish it? And that's what has happened. And I now talk to and mentor mothers raising children with cerebral palsy. I say mothers a lot because 90% of the people that I counsel, I first ask, are you still with your husband? Because most times, because of their children, homes break.
Are you still with your husband?
No, I'm not. Same situation. And so because I've walked the journey, I understand what they are going through. Sometimes those that have decided, let me stay in my marriage and raise my child, the husband will be there physically, not emotionally, and financially.
What happens between you and your husband?
Okay, so a time came when, first of all, society, community, friends, his friends are telling him, oh, you have a child like this. Oh, you think they're going to heal, they're not going to heal. You know, society dawned on him. And when society or community ruined his perspective of his child, now I was getting the lash.
Yes, the clapback.
Yes. And so he stopped supporting. He stopped providing. Subsequently, even I to be honest with you, I at that time I remember very few times seeing him carry his son. You know, I remember when I told my mother that, you know what, this is not giving. I can do away with this
and concentrate
on this.
I
can't do both. So it also made me realize that the men or the fathers do not accept them accept their special needs children as fast as we do, because
true.
perhaps it's us, perhaps it's because we carry them.
Yeah.
So by the time you have the child and they tell you, oh, he has no tongue, or you've already, it takes a very short time for you to accept, because you know what? It is yours. That's what God has given you. Unlike our counterparts, because they do not carry, they do not go through the 9 months.
Did you ever feel like he blamed you? Because most people feel like the man will blame the woman. Like you maybe you did not swallow your medicines, or maybe you did not attend antenatals properly for this to happen.
For my case, with all honesty, he did not blame me.
Yeah.
I can't say he blamed me, but because in the beginning, we were both excited.
Okay.
We had a girl, and now we had gotten a boy. So we're excited, although the excitement was short-lived.
Yeah, but it was there.
So we both do not understand what happened in the beginning. Did you blame yourself? I did blame myself, because I wished I had, the moment the nurse told me, this is jaundice, I should have read about it. Why did I not? I always read about things. I always Google every small thing. Why did I not? Why did I not Google that? Why did I shouldn't have left the hospital. Why did I give birth from that hospital?
Dorothy, this is a very interesting conversation, but as we are concluding, what is the last message that you have for people out there about your book, and also about how they can navigate?
Okay, I encourage people, especially those going through tough situations like depression, not necessarily because you're raising a child, but any emotional turmoil. It's only a season. It doesn't last long. Find somebody to talk to. Then you can reach out to me on Facebook, Dorothy Kisarale, to get yourself a copy. It's really not only talking to mothers of children with special needs, but to anybody that is going through a tough situation and you think this is the end of the world. It's never the end of the world. There's always triumph. There's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes. Like she said, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Your situation is only temporary. We're going through life, and life is motion. There are humps, there are challenges, but at the end of the day, we need to go through life. Don't forget to follow us on our socials at Girl from Oyam and at Triumph Women UG. My name is Okello Sharon Nagenjwa, still the Girl from Oyam. Until next Saturday, cheers and God bless you.